Welcome to the whiter than sour cream video of the day. Yeah, I have a huge window right here, so the lighting is off balance. Guys, today I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because I posted this on my shorts yesterday, and it's kind of interesting. So this obviously is Jamarr Chase, and he's talking about the preseason. So let me go ahead and play this audio, and let's get right into it.
You feel like you, Joe, and T all being together here now will help y'all start faster? Is there anything to that? Like, how do you think that might play into that?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out when we start playing, you know? I don't really know what happens. I don't know how we start fast.
Is there anything that y'all are going to do differently to maybe get that going? I mean, I'm sure we're going to ask you about that from now until week one.
They paid me and T. Hopefully that's the start of faster move right there, you know?
Just so y'all being here, getting that knocked out?
I mean, shit, I hope so. I don't know, bro. You know, I just go out there and do what I'm told to do and make a play.
Do you plan on playing in preseason?
That's not up to me. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be out there.
Do you want to?
Oh, you wouldn't be out there
If it was up to me, no. Of course not. You asking, do I want to play? Not really. No. I think we do the, I don't mind like a series, but that's literally all we do. You know, we get, and that's not, you don't really feel mentally ready for a game like that.
So that's a very interesting take. First off, they asked him if do you want to play the preseason? Answered no. But that last part is very important because he says when we play the preseason, I'm gonna take my face off my webcam off because, bro, I'm like white and sour cream. He does say when they play the preseason, they only play like one series, and he says at the very end that that's not enough to mentally prepare you for a game. So it seems like what he's saying is, you know, he doesn't like to play just the one series. It's pointless. You know, if he's only gonna play one series, then there's no point to playing the preseason. Which, again, you know, maybe I'm incorrect. That's how I'm listening to this. That's how I'm hearing this. Is that at first he says, like, no, like, if it's up to me, I wouldn't play the preseason. But then he kind of continues with this last part, which I think is very important as well.
I don't mind like a series, but that's literally all we do. You know, we get, and that's not, you don't really feel mentally ready for a game like that.
Which, again, is very interesting. Now, at the end of the day, I might be completely wrong. He might literally just be saying he doesn't want to play preseason at all, and he thinks it's stupid, and he thinks it's pointless. But, again, like I said, you know, let's say we did what the Chiefs do. So, last year, how the Chiefs did the preseason was the first game, Patrick Mahomes would play the first half. The second game, he played 3 quarters, and then the last game, he didn't play it at all. So, overall wise, he played half and then 3 quarters. So, pretty much a game and a half, pretty much, is what Mahomes played in the preseason last year. Now, obviously, Zach Taylor doesn't do that. Zach Taylor, you know, likes to go ahead and not play any starters in the preseason. Last year, he did cave a little bit and gave, you know, the starters at least, like, the beginning, like, one series, and that was pretty much it. Again, like I said, it's one of those situations where I'm sure there's something to do with injuries. Is why he doesn't want to play starters in the preseason. But according to Chase here, it doesn't seem like it would matter that much. But again, like I said, Chase is also Chase, which, you know, he is the best receiver in football. So whether he plays preseason or not, he's still going to be the best receiver in football, let's be honest. While on the other side, you know, players like Jermaine Burton, players like Yoshi, they might benefit some from playing in the preseason. I always think of it like if you play in the preseason, you're shaking off some of that rust from the offseason. Again, I'm not an NFL player. I can't speak on that matter, but I feel like that's kind of how I always look at it. It's like you're shaking off some of that rust from the preseason from the offseason. So that's why it's important to play, because at least you get some, you know, actual like nooks and crannies out of you before the actual season kicks off. But again, like I said, kind of interesting take by Chase here. Does it surprise me? Not really, because last year he didn't play in the preseason, so I guess this is kind of just the same mindset here of like, he's like, hey, I'm going to be the best of the best no matter what. But again, if he does, theoretically speaking, play the whole game, or he plays half the game in preseason, maybe that will kind of change some things up. Again, maybe I'm not looking in this correctly, because, again, let me play this audio.
That's not up to me. If it was up to me, I wouldn't be out there.
You want to?
Oh, you wouldn't be out there
If it was up to me, no. Of course not. You asking, do I want to play? Not really. No. I think we do the, I don't mind like a series, but that's literally all we do. We get, and that's not, you don't really feel mentally ready for a game like that.
Which, again, maybe I'm looking too far into that. But that's kind of my thoughts and opinions on the matter, is that if it was more than a series, maybe he would be more amped to play the preseason. But as he says, just playing one series doesn't mentally get you prepared for the situation. And also, again, like I said, I'm sure there's also injury risk as well. You play in the preseason, first time playing in 8 weeks or 8 months, something happens, and then, as a coach, from Zach's point of view, looks like you're crazy. You play your starters in the preseason and you lost your best player, to injury. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys next one. Peace.